That's one of my favorite licks. One of the cool things you can do with that is add, instead of playing the A, play the flat 5, which in this case would be B flat. By doing that, you just, instead of hitting this note A, kind of stretch that finger up and hit the B flat. It gives a real bluesy sound if you play it fast. And, you know, you can use that as part of a lick that descends or something. The cool thing about barring licks is just by pivoting the third finger, you can do the same picking but get different notes by you know, barring with the third finger too. What I'm doing here is I'm hitting down on the B string, up on the E, back down on the D, or the B string but the note D, pulling it off to a B, and then that same pull off is also a hammer-on up to D again, but instead of hitting up on the E, this time I will have barred this finger. I'm hitting up on the note G. So let me just play it slow so you see what I'm talking about. That's another lick I use a lot. And again, you can add that note on the G string and just kind of come up with variations of that kind of idea. And that's one of my favorite licks. Another barring lick is that I use for kind of a bluesy thing is, we'll use this example in E too. Slide down to the 10th fret, bar these two notes, and hammer on from the A to the B on the B string, and then bar the third finger so you're hitting up on the note E, and then pull that off. So you'd have to, you know, hit down again on the B, pull it off. The thing you can add to that to make it sound real bluesy is the flat 5. It sounds kind of weird, slow, but it sounds cool when you play it fast. Pull the flat 5 off to the A again, so you're pulling B flat off to A, and just play that sequence. That's one of my favorite licks. Another blues lick that's barring sounds similar to that. This is kind of weird because you'll be barring with the second finger this time. Start on the flat 5, or the 11th fret of the B string. That would be the flat 5. Hammer on to the B, and then up on the note E. So the second finger is the finger that's barring. Hit back down on the note B, and pull it off. Then with your third finger, reach up and hit the D on the B string. The whole thing slow is going to sound like this. Sounds kind of weird slow again, but if you play it fast, it sounds kind of nasty. One of my favorites. Take that same barring idea and use it on some of the other strings. You can go like right across the fretboard barring. That's another thing I do a lot, which is, let me just show you what it is. If I was in E, say E blues, start on the note A, and I'd hammer onto the B, and then bar with the third finger up on the note E. Then hit the B again, pull it off to A. Then just, at that point, after you've gotten down to the A, just do a simple pentatonic hammer-on to the B, to the D, and to the E. Let me just show it to you slow so you see what I'm talking about. At that point, you're going to bar again and do the same sequence, but on the next two sets of strings. So what you have is the only weird part is when I hit that C sharp, and if I'm in E blues, then that note works. Technically, if we were doing the exact pattern all the way up, keeping it pentatonic, I should have hit the D, but I'm not going to do that because I want to keep it easy for me. And the last shape would be minor third distance with 3 frets. So the whole thing would sound like this. My all-time favorites. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you my very first guitar instructor, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Sidney Crumph.
Well, Greg, it certainly is a pleasure to be here out there, and you've come quite the ways, haven't you?
Thank you.
Greg Howe. Howe, well, Greg, why don't you play for the folks the very, very first thing I've taught you?
Well, the very first thing you taught me, I don't know if I
Well,
remember.
that would be your C minor, F, G, half gainer, full twelfth side of French. Try that.
I don't remember that one.
Just try it, Greg, all right?
That last note.
Would you try that, please?
Is that it?
That's close enough. Boy, has he come. Greg, hold the best. I'm going to get back to class now, and it certainly was a pleasure meeting, and bye.
He's a great guy. I hope I see him again real soon, like within the next 20 years or so. Well, time to have some fun. Get to use both hands on the fretboard. I do a lot of two-handed things, and I try to make sure that when I do them, they almost don't sound like two-handed licks. They sound more like runs or extremely fast legato lines. It would be hard to do with just one hand. One of the licks I use a lot, and again, I'll keep this in A minor so we can be easier to talk about. It's a triplet pattern that's I usually use it in a descending form, but let's go up to the Dorian position here in A minor. We'll start on the note D, and what you're going to do is position the left hand on D, E, and F, those 3 notes, and the lick will actually start on the note G with the right hand. I use my middle finger because I do a lot of things where I'm trading off back and forth between hammer-ons and picking and two-handed things, and so this way I don't have to think about what I have to do with the pick. Anyway, we'll start on G. You're going to play that note. That'll be the first note. You just tap it with the right hand. Pull it off, and you'll get the note F. Pull the F off to an E, and then re-tap the F with the right hand. It's going to be a triplet feel. You'll start hearing it. After you've tapped that F with the right hand, pull it off to the E, and then pull the E off to the D, and then re-tap the E. So far we have this. Right after that, to keep the triplets going, you're going to have to hammer on to the note C with the left hand. And then you're going to tap the note D with the right hand. So we had D on the E string the first time. This time we'll have it on the B string. After you've gotten to that point, you're pretty much back to where you were when we first started. You just do the same sequence.